Hi friends, in Planet Earth Dating, it's Wednesday, December 9th, 2015. Black Wolf here at the microphone of the Lynn-Life, Ra, Asha, and Pan in the back rooms. Betty Jean is in the Jamie Body Mind, other teammates in other aspects of the physical dimension, all except potentially one. All of us in the subatomic layers of the physical from the perspective of the spirit world viewers. We've gotten a lot of messages about the need to draw a line in the sand and say, enough, that's over the line, I've had enough, I feel complete. And working theory is that that will somehow, in some way, figure into our videoed portion of today's effort. We could be wrong, the session could take a different turn. As always, our intention is to do what is ours to do right now, in all dimensions, to manifest the divine plan. The data quite clearly showing what's needed is to provide a collective restart. Wiser minds above, knowing that nothing happens without a deadline, have set January 17th, 2017 as the due date for that collective restart, and have given us a series of nested deadlines that take us from where we are to that deadline. The next deadline is the start of winter, the winter solstice, December 21st in Planet Earth Dating. And with that, it begins. I'm seeing what looks like a lineup, and it's a lineup of wonderful people. I see Ra 2.
That's true.
I see Asha, I see the higher soul of Asha 2. I see many people lined up. I see Pan, for example, there. Many wonderful people lined up. And what do I notice? I notice they're all really well-intentioned people. They all want to do the right thing. What else do I notice? I notice that they've all done things that have hurt their loved ones deeply, and sometimes those things, almost always, those things seem to have been done with the idea that this will help that person.
That's true.
But it made it worse, not better. I'm being shown the time that Ra 2 turned to your higher soul, Betty Jean, and said, would you just clock in, Asha? I'm sure she's just running late.
That's true.
And she'll be here. It was some kind of mandatory meeting, and Asha wasn't there. Not our Asha, this higher soul of Asha.
That's true.
Wasn't there. And he asked your higher soul to... I'm saying it wrong.
No, you're not. I thought at first that you were, and I was starting to look at it, and we're looking at two
so
separate
he's done
events
that multiple times.
That's
And now I see him nodding, and he
That's
has,
true.
Ra 2 is nodding that yes, there were many times,
And to
actually
his
many
receptionist and to other people in the office.
She's running late. Would you mind clocking her in?
That's true.
And everybody, he's labeling it as she's got issues with time.
That's true.
But it's something else going on. And even if it were issues with time, that's a lack of integrity.
That's true.
Saying we're going to be someplace at a certain time and not being there shows a lack of integrity.
Oh, and it might even be connected to how everyone treats Asha like she's disabled.
That Asha.
That Asha at
too.
that level. Asha
Yes.
too, like she's disabled. And it would make sense if Ra is saying all the time, oh, she's running late, but it's okay because she has these problems. Everyone goes, oh, Asha has these problems, and so we do these extra things for her.
And maybe it's not even stated. I think it's just unstated. Is, oh, she's running late. Would you mind doing this for her?
That could be.
I don't think it's out on the table. I don't think they're having an open, honest conversation about it. That's what they're showing.
True.
There's not a format to get to the truth, as there is here in the Search for Truth pillar.
That's true.
The channeling has been very specific and has developed over a long period of time, in all fairness, that many years have gone into discerning what actually works and helping people get to the truth. And
That's
that
true.
process has been engaged since the very first formal class in 2009.
That's true.
Wow, this is fascinating. People can't tell what's true. How do we move past this? Because they need to know how to tell what's actually going on for them to be successful in life and in this work. We see how much confusion there is about love.
That's true.
And this is another reason why we have said it begins with truth. Because all of these people, and I'm seeing the lineup again of these really top-notch sentient presences.
Ratu is trying to leave the room.
No, please stay. Please stay. Please stay. Thank you. These really top-notch sentient presences of whom Ratu is a part, and Pan is a part, and Asha is a part, and Ra1 is a part.
That's true.
All top-notch sentient presences, and they love each other. Some of them differently than others.
That's true.
And they want to help each other. And yet they have inflicted great harm on each other.
That's true.
If we can't tell what's true, then we don't even know what love actually is. And we see how widespread the confusion is about what love is.
That's true.
Some people literally think sex is love. Sex isn't love, sex is sex. That's different.
That's true.
That infatuation that happens at the start of romances, that's not love, that's infatuation.
That's true.
Codependence, where we do something for them and they do something for us, that's codependence, that's not love.
That's true.
True love is calling someone into his or her greatness, helping them be who they have come into a sentient level to be, to call them to measure up to their potential, to help them do it being live their soul plan, do what's theirs to do right now in every moment, and not do anything else. That's what is actually loving, because in the long run, that's what actually helps the person.
That's true.
The pencil point is circling around again to this idea of drawing a line in the sand and saying, that's enough. You're over the line. We're complete.
That's true.
And if someone's behavior is actually way, way, way over the line and has been repetitively for a really long time, if their actions show a pattern of being late, for example, as Asha 2's pattern is late,
that's true.
Wouldn't the loving thing have been for Ratu to not punch in Asha or have a woman punch her in?
That's true.
But rather to have her bear the cost of whatever it meant to be late.
That's true.
And have that natural consequence provide a learning opportunity.
That's true. And in such a way giving her another opportunity to take responsibility for her own life and her own choices.
Make choices that work better.
That's true.
And it's this way for all of us.
That's
we
true.
have loved ones in our lives who are doing things that really don't work. And how, if we actually love them, we'll say,
you're going to regret this.
You're going to regret this. That's over the line. You're making poor choices. You can make a different choice. You can do better. You can do a lot better than that. Is that the best you can do? Really? Come on, you can do better than that.
That's true.
And people don't react well with that.
No.
But that's still what's needed. And if we're not willing to put ourselves on the line for that person, then to consider, how do I actually feel about that person? Do I want that person to love me? Is that what's really going on? Why not be the one who greets the world with a full moon in each eye, being what every other soul actually wants, a presence of true love?
That's true.
Paraphrasing, with that sweet moon language by Hafez of Shiraz.
Well, there's definitely a lot of uncomfortable faces in the lineup.
So friends, it's okay. Who among us hasn't messed up? Who has messed up? Hands up.
Raise your hand.
Big hands up. We've all messed up. Nobody cares about it. What matters is to acknowledge our mistakes as soon as we become aware of them. Say, oh, geez, that was a goof. I meant to do something different, or I didn't do that well. I can see I didn't handle that situation well. And then to correct it, to clean up our messes. Wires or minds above already know we goofed. It's already caught on film. It's too late.
That's true.
It's already on our record. What matters is that we acknowledge it, stop lying about not having made a mistake. That's a lie. Stop doing that. Say, wow, I messed up, and fix it.
So Asha too isn't saying this out loud, but she's feeling this feeling of like, but I had to do it, and you don't understand.
Show of hands, who always feels that way when they're caught in that delusion?
Me, all the time.
It's always,
every single time.
all the time.
I had to do it.
I had
you
to
don't
do it.
understand.
You don't understand.
And that's unreasonable.
That is a
How dare
choice.
you.
It's a choice. What you're saying is, I didn't like the other options, and so I chose to do this. We're responsible for our choices. And you, Asha, too, have issues with accepting responsibility for your life. We all have choices. We have choice in every moment, which is actually beautiful, because every moment life begins again. We
That's
can make a new
true.
choice. We can look back at our mistakes and say, oh, geez, look at that, and turn around and start doing what we're supposed to do.
That's true.
I hear this music. Dun, 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 dun.
That's
dun,
what that
dun.
is.
And what that means is that was the time for everyone to make their choices.
That's
And now they
true.
have to, it's kind of like show and tell.
That's true.
And we show and tell with our lives, with our actions. People in the classes have said for years, how do I know what I'm willing to do? And the answer is glaringly obvious.
It's what you're doing.
It's what we're doing. Our lives show what we're willing to do. Everything else is the fantasy.
That's true. Just talk.
There isn't a mythical other person who's the real us.
No.
We are the real us. This is our real life, and how we're living it shows what we're willing to do.
That's
we're doing
true.
what we're willing to do. I see other people, and they're outside observers, and they're
That's
watching
right.
this, and they have watched some of the contract signing that we've been going through earlier this morning, saying, no, I am complete with this. There's the click. That means that's done. No, I'm done.
That's
We're done
true.
here. We're done here. We're done here. We're done here. We are complete. We are complete. We are complete. We are complete. The gifts are given, and we are complete.
That's true.
Doing a closing process on presence after presence, relationship after relationship. And there are a lot of presences who have been using those dangling relationships as excuses to be icky and inappropriate. They're saying, you're letting those people be icky and inappropriate,
That's
so I
true.
can be icky and inappropriate too. All right, no more icky inappropriateness. We're complete.